Bethesda's June showcase leaks. So, listen, I feel like we've been here before.
Yes.
In the past,
here we go
would
again.
See this take place right before a show, and then lo and behold, something would be announced at the show. ZeniMax Media filed new trademark on May 6th for Wolfenstein, Deathloop, Quake, and Dishonored. Now, if you don't know what those are games. Done. That's what they are. Explanation over. No, so Wolfenstein obviously is a game that is developed by the people who make Indiana Jones. What's the name of that studio? Why am I blanking on them? Wow. I just blanked. What's the name of the people who make Wolfenstein and Machine Games? Thank you, sir. Thank you, music. Look at you coming through. Meet the cheater. And Yada Zach. Appreciate y'all.
Oh my gosh. My keyboard's not.
So connected. We went ahead and had a lot of discussions when Indiana Jones came out. And we had a lot of talks because for all intents and purposes, the rumors were that Wolfenstein Part 3 was being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the indie deal and they put Wolfenstein to the side and went ahead and focused on Indiana Jones, which obviously turned out amazing. But who's to say that they didn't have another team continue to work on Wolfenstein if they didn't have a small team in Machine Games that were going ahead and working on it? Don't know, but it would be really dope if they did in fact have a Wolfenstein 3 in the works. Then you do have Deathloop that was out a few years ago. It was released as a PlayStation timed exclusive, and then it did go ahead and release on Xbox. I did play it on Xbox. I did beat the game on Xbox. I did enjoy that game immensely. And you know, if you did play that game and beat the game, you do know that at the end there's like a choice you can make, and there's definitely a world where they can continue that series and continue that franchise. So it's definitely a game that can have a 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were working on it. Then you have Quake, which again has been rumored forever to have there was supposed to be a new Quake, and there was even on the board, wasn't it on the Indiana Jones or the Starfield? I think it was on the Starfield, the event. On the whiteboard, they had something about the next Quake, right? Is that real? I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. So I think that this is again one of those things where it's just like it's something that they were working on, and now maybe it's time to bring it to light. And then the last one, again, like we said, is Dishonored, which we know for a fact was on the leaked document that has been correct from I'm sorry, it wasn't. I mean, technically, yes, it was. Wasn't it from the leak, or was it from the trials that we got that paper about Bethesda? Bethesda's whole roadmap was on there, and Oblivion Remake was on there, which obviously is true. All the games have been on there that have come out already. It's just been like a 2 to 3 year gap, and Dishonored 3 was on that list. And I believe it was for 2024. So if it were to follow the kind of way that they've pushed games back, it would have been 2 years or 3. So it's either going to be ready to go in next year, 2026, show us now, and it's coming out, or It's just, if you guys remember, what I've been talking about on this channel as far as the next showcase, right? I've said it for a while that I really feel like this showcase is going to be like our next, setup showcase, like our next showcase that shows us the next few years of a roadmap laid out, because already, our roadmap that we've been having, that we've been working with for a while, it's kind of coming to that point where 2025 is already full. 2026, we know a good part of what it is, and we have like the tiniest idea of 2027. Now we can start filling in some of that unknown, right? Because we have to start seeing games that we don't know about.
Yeah, what they've been doing,
right? Like it's time, right? So even if they're just going to show us like things like they did with Fable or whatever, where it's just like an announcement screen, a little clip of something, and then announce it, just kind of filling out that roadmap, letting us know what they're working on. I feel like this is the perfect way, to do it. You go ahead, you show us, games that we know, like again, Wolfenstein, we know was being worked on. Quake, we know is being worked on. Dishonored, we know is being worked on. Deathloop, I don't know if anybody assumed that there'll be a part 2. They definitely made it where the ending alluded to one. But I mean, it's been years, right, since that game came out. Right? When did Deathloop 1 come out?
I think 2020.
2020?
I think so.
Get the fuck out of here. Really? It's been that long?
It's been a while. It was like right when the generation started. Deathloop and Tokyo Ghostwire both came out, I think, 2020, 2021.
2021?
2021
was launch, right? So it could
September
have been
14, 2021.
Okay, 2021. September 2021. So almost 4 years. So like 3.5 years. So
but
if they were
that was for Windows PC and PlayStation 5, and for Xbox Series X and Series S on September 20th of 2022.
Okay. So basically,
so a year later.
3.5 years? No, 2021. We're in 2025.
Yeah. It's like 4 years. We're coming up on 4 years.
Coming up on 4 years. Yeah, coming up on 4 years. So between 3 and 4 years, depending on how much work they were doing before they released the Xbox version, all this other shit. So it's definitely time to be able to show us something if they wanted to, right? Now, look, to be clear, these are trademarks, right? So they could be nothing. It could just be Bethesda being, hey, we just want to renew these game titles, right? We own these IP and we just want to renew it. Sure, but that's not fun. That's not fun to think about. What's fun to think about is the fact that they're doing this right before the June showcase. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that this is a nothing burger? Or do you think that this is, a possibility of, they support? All right, let me put this in context. Xbox has dropped so much shit that we thought would be either dropped or announced. So much shit that we thought would be like, if they were in the June showcase, these would be amazing announcements at June showcase.
Yeah.
New Gears, Oblivion remake, right? They 100% could have.
Absolutely.
But they didn't. So they dropped it now. So the idea, at least from what we're thinking, is that they must have so much more. Right? They must have so much more.
Absolutely, though. Like, to go ahead and make with Oblivion, right? That could have been highlighted, and make a big splash about it, right? I feel like it was a bigger deal than what they made it out to be. And so because of that, you can only imagine what else they have in store. So this is very possible. I also I forget, I wish I had the message. Someone said in the chat, this doesn't mean new games necessarily. you know, I mean, they can also be remastering or, you know, anything is possible.
Oh, like remaking an
Yeah.
older one or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, ZeniMax is still a pretty big publishing house, and typically a publishing house will release somewhere between 3 and 5 titles a year. They've been kind of quiet. I mean, they did release Doom, but after what else released from Bethesda this year?
Indie dropped on
Indie,
Friday,
yeah,
and they
Indie.
dropped in December,
Yeah.
so you're still within like a
Yeah, so
6-month
that's
period
yeah, so I mean, I'm just saying it's like it's a little quiet, so they probably should have another
and
title
Oblivion,
or two.
man.
They didn't make that though. That's they had a third
I
party
mean, they did make
it.
that. Yeah, but as a publisher, they technically published it, right?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I think they could probably have another 2 titles that could drop this year or within the next 8 months from the showcase announcement. So I think there's room for that because, like I said, they haven't released a lot this particular year yet. There's still a lot of time left, so maybe you do get a new Quake in the next 8-9 months. Maybe you do get a Deathloop sequel in the next 8-9 months. It's about, like I said, they're a publishing house. They release about 3 to 5 games. They're supposed to release about 3 to 5 games a year on average.
I mean, we have Starfield should have an expansion too.
Yeah, Starfield expansion.
So that should come out.
Facts.
They're probably just gonna do it in September as well.
And Elder Scrolls, those people have been working on a new game.
Yeah.
The Elder Scrolls Online people, was ZeniMax Online?
Yeah.
They have a new game that they're looking to announce. So I mean, again, this could be one of those moments where they can show us games that are coming out this year. They can show us games that they're planning for the future.
Yeah, we know Blade. We know that one.
We know Blade. I mean, listen, I also feel like we're gonna start getting more of a picture of, some next gen stuff, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Like some games that are gonna be announced now that are not ready to go, but
further out,
and they're gonna be, our kind of peek into, next gen.
I agree with you. I feel like, we're kind of circulating kind of like the, the same games we know about this year, absolutely packed. We know a bit about next year. Who knows how many surprises we're going to get smacked up with. But like that excitement of like, look what we're working on. And that's, years later, I feel like they need to give us the next wave of that to kind of hype us up for the future. Not just the now and the, I
think it's going to be kind of hard for them to do that with their current output, though. It's kind of hard to give you the future when they have so much to give you right now.
It's a peek behind the curtain, kind
of.
Like
they give a peek for sure, but
doing this.
Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft. I think it like they'd have to have like a whole separate showcase for a future showcase. Because they have so much going on.
I mean, the thing is, you figure they're going to give us like 2 hours, right? An hour and a half, and then a half hour for the other thing. Unless it's an hour and a half hour for that Outer Worlds.
It was an hour, right? Last year,
I think it was an hour and then.
I think it was an hour.
Yeah, hour and then half an hour.
Yeah.
Which I kind of hope that we get a longer one. I'm not gonna lie. I want to get back to like a nice 2-hour show. I feel like they should. I feel like they have enough content to do so.
I think they do, but I think, they're kind of like also want to be able to sprinkle things around. I feel like an hour compact with games, not fluff.
You know what though? We thought that
was,
but then last year they didn't really do that, right? Like last year, we heard remember like Hargeet was telling us that he heard there was so much that they couldn't fit and they cut it, and we were supposed to like see it throughout the year, and then we really didn't.
We didn't really see
much of anything else the rest of the year outside of just like little things.
Little things that they left out that maybe could have went into that show, and they decided to, kind of give a boost of excitement throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, so Ninja Gaiden was probably one of the things.
That's something they cut, and they left it for that. The January showcase. I mean, the January, what's it called? Dev Direct.
Yeah, Dev Direct. Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of space for them to give us both. You know what I'm saying? I think they can, like you said, dude. I think they can show us a peek of the future and still show us what's coming the rest of this year. We know we're going to see Call of Duty. We obviously know we're going to see Outer Worlds 2. They might show us some more Ninja Gaiden 4. Right?
Yeah.
And am I mistaken, or is that pretty much it for the rest of the year that we know?
I mean, they're probably. Did you bring up Call of Duty? They're probably going to show us
the new Call of Duty.
the new
Right?
Call
We're
of
definitely
Duty.
see Call of Duty. It's probably going to open the show.
Starfield.
Oh, okay. So we don't know that for sure. We're just going based off their words that they were going to plan to do something every year. So they could show us the expansion, right?
I think that will be the right time. Yeah.
But like known quantity that we for sure know is supposed to launch this year. We have Ninja Gaiden 4, Black Ops, and Outer Worlds 2. And we know Outer Worlds 2 for sure is going to be shown because it's the after party, you know, the direct. So Call of Duty and Outer Worlds 2. Is there anything else that we know cemented we have coming the rest of this year?
No, probably just some live. Like we know we're going to see a Thieves update of some sort.
Yeah, like the updates.
Like, yeah, we know we're going to get those live service updates.
Okay,
but
so I mean, I really feel like when you look at how stacked they made the first half of this year, you know, between first party and third party, for day and dates in the Game Pass, right? I don't think they're gonna do everything that they did, and then not have an empty back end.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. As much as
not have the fireworks,
it's crazy
to kind of close the year with.
It's crazy, exactly. It's crazy to say that 3 games is like, what is 3 games when like PlayStation's out here sucking on the teat of like 1.5, right? Yeah. So I know it's like spitting in your face, ponies, and I do that intentionally. But for us, having only 3 games on the back end of this year sounds odd.
Yeah.
Right. And they did tell us that there were games that were not announced that would be releasing later in the year. Right.
Yeah.
So
I do feel like they need to close the year again with a big game and give us something in December like they did in 2024 with Indiana Jones. I feel like that's a must. I mean, listen, Hargeet threw out there Forza.
I mean, Forza can definitely be something. I mean, it's definitely been long enough. It's just whether or not they're gonna. I mean, this is the thing. So obviously we kind of had like the rumors that that we were gonna have a next gen console for Xbox in 2026. Then the rumors changed to like 2027, right? So
2026 just makes so much sense.
It just makes so much sense with that 25 year, right? Like it just seems stupid.
And look, Ryard's over here feeling the way we do. Xbox handheld. Maybe that's what they're gonna, it's gonna be a big part of the conversation. That would be pretty dope
for next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
the Aces should be this year, right?
Are they going to use the stage to show us a hardware that's not theirs?
Be interesting. I mean, who knows?
Depends.
I mean, there's so much they could do.
It depends how well, because you did mention CMoney. The handheld, like it has to be more than just the buttons, right? It depends on how much went into it. So, and if it does feel like it's a more of a native situation, right? So I guess we'll see. And according to how they presented, right, or how much light they put onto it, we'll see how much they're trying to push it and how much, they're willing to feel or make us feel like it's an Xbox handheld, right? But I want to go to Cage real quick. He says that Fable's delayed, so drop Clockwork Revolution.
I would expect about 6 more games the rest of the way, at least 6 to 8.
So Clockwork, I don't like. They've been active lately, right? I mean, they're always kind of active, but they brought up Clockwork recently. Normally, they're active in a way that they like are just on Twitter making jokes or doing things, but they did kind of put a post on that kind of brought up Clockwork, talking about their 100-person team working on this game, blah blah blah. So like that was like a weird thing to talk about without, for kind of like unprovoked, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know if they would, but it's a possibility. Then you do still have like Everwild, which
that's what I was kind of, because you remember, you keep bringing up that they said, until next year, right? They said at the end of last year. So I blanked out on the name, which is funny because you always do.
Until 2025.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you don't say until 2025 and be like, hey guys, check out our game. We'll see you in 2026. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel
2025 is not going to be a reminder of hold up next year.
Another great game for the fall would be Project Mara if it's ready.
Well, funny that you said that, they just put out a post where they're showing the team what they've been working on, which doesn't bode well for it coming out anytime soon. So it sounds like maybe they have I don't know, but they showed a screenshot and it was blurred. But eagle-eyed people like myself and Doodle noticed that in that blurred out picture there was a lot of greens, like vegetation, not looking very dark as a Project Mara might lead you to believe. And my mind started thinking about what is green that they would be working on? And then it hit me. And then I also saw somebody in the chat, in the replies, put it. The West game. Why am I'm blanking on the goddamn name? The game they made before with the
Heavenly Sword,
with the monkey. No. The guy they called him Monkey. He had the girl. He had to keep her alive. She had the fucking thing around his head that she could blow it up if he didn't do what she wanted. The West, Journey to the West, something to West. Come on. Somebody tell me the name. You know what it is. Enslaved.
Yeah.
Yes. Enslaved.
Yeah.
Those very similar green.
Yeah, because we looked at a picture and then we went back to that blurred out picture and I was like, oh, those are the greens that pop up over here. You kind of can make it out a bit. So,
and I mean, look, not for nothing, but obviously they are, as much as Hellblade 2 is amazing, one of my favorite games that I've played. And I'm sure they're working on Hellblade 3. I'm sure there's a team in there working on the next Hellblade. I do feel like maybe there could have been a conversation where Microsoft is like, hey guys, you guys are amazing. Like, we love what you do. It's crazy. Like, keep being you. Also, got any ideas that maybe are not about psychosis or anything crazy that maybe we could open up the market a little bit and get you in front of more eyes, right? I could very well see that conversation happen. Like, is there any other idea that you have? And it's like, well, we've been wanting to revisit Enslaved, create an Enslaved Part 2, Enslaved, and put a quote. This could be like their, it was very Uncharted-like. If you guys played that game, Enslaved. Had a lot of like set piece scenarios that would happen. It was very, very good game. Loved it. So I mean, it can happen. Maybe they're gonna do a remake of Enslaved. Maybe it's
that's
not
possible.
A brand new one. Maybe it's a remake from the ground up with their new tech, bringing it into the
new
eyes
gen
of today.
Yeah,
because it was a great story. So I feel like if they went to a sequel, people might not, remember it. I don't know how many people played that game.
Well, also, even like you don't want to go when it's been too long into a sequel and not attract new eyes where they feel like, okay, well, I didn't play the first one, so why even bother, right? So you want to go ahead and get everyone on board, give it a fair shot. But I do have to say, yeah, with Hellblade, that's hold on.
God bless you, my love.
Bless you.
God bless you, my love.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh. You said you do have to say when enslaved?
With Hellblade, that, that's very particular. So it's not for everyone, even if it's obviously it's a freaking amazing looking game. And it's phenomenal. We loved it, but it's not for everyone, because of the psychosis and everything. So this would be something a little bit more broad when it comes to the audience.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of options out there. And again, you brought up Project Mara. They obviously showed something blurred. If they're showing their team, maybe they're ready to show us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a preview, like they previewed with the team, make sure everybody's on board, everybody likes the idea, everybody likes what's happening. Then they show us, and then we move the ball forward. I just think there's so much that they can do, but I do feel like as cool as it is that we're gonna get the rest of this year filled out, I think I'm ready to have more games in the future to point to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the ones that we know are exciting, and I can't wait for them, and it's dope. Keep filling it out. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to be on this like mystery trip. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay seeing the roadmap. Give me a few years ahead so I know exactly what it is.
What's in the kitchen? Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't pester us. Have us talking about secret showcases.
No. Wait, say what'd you say?
Said don't pisser us.
Yeah. Fuck that. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just ready. I'm ready. I think again, they are the ones who are doing this, right? They are getting me. We talk about PlayStation and what they got their people used to, right? They got their people used to these certain type of games, and that's all they want or whatever. I will say that so far, Xbox is spoiling me. I do feel spoiled, and I don't think you can go from feeling spoiled to feeling like, okay, like, what about me? What's going on? I need to know what's next. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep filling me in. Let me keep seeing that there's this immense roadmap coming, and let me kind of salivate on each game. Ones that are coming, and then let my mind wander into what's going to be coming, right? I think that would be cool. Give me some. You don't have to go crazy, but just give me some. Good. Babe, do you have something you were clicking on?
Hold on.
Do you have it, or should I go to this one?
Here we go. I can't click on. Everything's getting.
Okay, so Madman in the building.
Madman, what's up, baby?
Says, I'll bet my marbles on a Deathloop sequel being announced. That game's concept honestly has a lot of potential for further expansion. Interesting. I mean, I kind of agree.
It also takes place inside the Dishonored universe, so there's some tie-in there.
Also, a good point, right? So tied in, you just never know. There's a way to link it, a way to bring in more for sure. We do have the homie Ryu Art in the building. Member for 14 mother effing months. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, my dude.
Thank you so much, bro.
Oh shit.
Thank you, fam.
Hold on. I wasn't quite ready. Let's see. CMoney. Gano medallas de oro in the hood de borracho. What's this Spanglish shit, bro? That's why he got the car stuck in the church calling Doodle. Hashtag you converted a Nintendo. Hashtag PPG. What the fuck? I'm not gonna lie.
It's si dinero. It's in Spanish.
Oh, that's
Right?
true. I should have said si dinero. Man, missed opportunity. But
Se
he does have
dinero.
Spanglish.
Se, not si. Se
But he
dinero.
did the Spanglish, so I'm technically fine.
Oh, you're blending it.
He put in the hood.
Okay.
So I started, then
Okay.
Spanish, then English, then Spanish. I'm just saying.
That wasn't bad. That was good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's just what it is. Just what it is. What did I say?
You don't know?
Gano, win,
Uh-huh.
medals
Uh-huh.
of gold
Yes.
in the hood of Cage of Vampiro Borracho.
Yes. Good job, babe.
That's why he got the car stuck in church calling Doodle. Come on, man. That's how we do.
Oh, look
Thank
at
you.
you guys.
Skills. Told you. We got our homie Spartan 661.
Yo,
in the
what's
motherfucking
good?
building.
Thank you for rocking
Thank you, my
out.
brother, for being here, man. Appreciate
Thank
you, homie.
you.
Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. Says
Thank you.
developers of Ghostwire Tokyo need to make a Doctor Strange game. Make it with magic users in the Marvel universe. Green light it when Blade succeeds. So this is the problem, Spartan. Ghostwire Tokyo, those people are now owned by Kraft, the people who make PUBG, and the people who funded what's that fucking scary game that we really like that shit the bed for sales?
Evil Within?
No. The new one that Callisto.
Callisto Protocol.
Oh.
That was good. That was really
they
good.
Did that one. They published that one. So I don't know if Kraft is going to start negotiating with
you made me think of the Quarry. That was so
you know
good
what I'm
too.
saying, to go get a license like that. But I agree, they definitely had like the whole technically the people of Obsidian could do it too. Avowed, they got all those sign shit happening too. They fucking around. They do dope shit with that book. Come on, man. They're on fire. But yes, I agree. That would be dope. I feel like Doctor Strange, a Doctor Strange game is a missed opportunity right now. Not somebody not making that. But we'll see. Only time will tell. We got the homie RC motherfucker.
RC,
Polygon
what's
in the
up?
building. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Says, I will be a hypocrite if I didn't point this out, since I do this to every video title that is not correct. Your title is wrong. Bethesda no longer has a showcase of their own. I'm nitpicking. Damn it, RC Polygon. So listen, there's only so much space, okay? So I don't know if you made a YouTube video before, but when you make a title, there's only 100 characters that you can use. And some weeks I don't put as many topics. So I have a little space and I can flesh out the thought more. Sometimes I just kind of have to
words get cut out.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, Bethesda does not have their own June showcase, but I'm referring to their participation in the June showcase. So that's what I wanted to say, but clearly could not say it.
But you are correct.
100%. And I have to update the banner. So let me go ahead and do that real quick.
Look at you keeping up.
RC.
So good.
Polygon with that 10. Appreciate you. Oh, and I didn't put be nice was 1 gifted. There we go. Money. Sweet. Beautiful. All right. Awesome. And then we have our boy Game Shark in the building with
Game
that
Shark,
$5
what's
super chat. I
good?
appreciate you, homie. Says, can't wait to see the ponies hyped for every full price game from the showcase. Then Jizz Corda can write his why buy a PS5 article, hashtag Corden the Clown. Twinkle,
Twinkle, baby.
Damn. That was fucking bars, bro. They are going to hype up everything. And they're going to glaze themselves into believing that this was somehow their showcase. We're going to talk about it later, but yes, you are correct. There's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time.
I'm excited to see all the receipts with the wish listing and the pre-orders. That's gonna get us very excited. So
Agreed.
I do think that they are gonna run around doing that. I do think that, again, the show is it's private because they're not gonna have an audience because of their presence with on PlayStation. So
I feel that. I feel like there's going to be a huge amount of people watching this Xbox showcase, which is literally
that's what they want.
playing into Xbox's hand, right?
Yeah.
Give them the most views they ever had, make them the most relevant they've ever been. It's crazy that the ponies don't get it, but listen,
It would be
one day they're gonna wake up, look in the mirror, and see themselves wearing an Xbox shirt. I'm just saying.
They're gonna be like, what the
And
fuck?
they're gonna be like, no, this was PlayStation's plan. See, they're dominating. You see, I'm wearing an Xbox shirt because it's on PlayStation.
Oh, they're gonna buy it from the PlayStation store.
Oh shit.
Oh,
That
You
would
know?
be the most epic fucking way to get
But,
them to do it, bro.
they'll get 30%. Gallopers, they'll get 30%.
True.
which is more than 70%.
It's
Is it?
more than 70%.
In
and it'll help
Ponyland,
them-
yes.
It'll help them fund bangers like Gummy Bears.
Yes.
Okay.
Listen,
You guys are
gotta
on
keep
point.
that in mind.
For sure. We do have our
Dark
motherfucking homie, Dark
Angelic.
Angelic. My dude, thank you for
good.
being a member for 17
Thank you.
months. Says,
Thank you.
still find it incredible that Xbox has so many games that they pushed Avowed to February so it wouldn't go against Indiana Jones. Meanwhile, ponies are begging for handouts, but stay arrogant.
Right? It's
Can you
crazy.
imagine seeing a homeless dude on the corner begging for money while they heckle you? You know what I'm saying? Look at this fucking loser coming to me right now in that fucking Benz. Yo, you got $1? No? Well, fuck you, man. You ain't shit. You ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, what the fuck?
You remember the dude on the bike yelling at the cars?
He was young.
Because he wouldn't, the cars were beeping. He wouldn't get out of the road, and he was mad. Yo, he was acting out
That's
like
real
that. That's
wild,
a
actually.
galloper right there. He was probably a galloper.
Oh, I feel like it.
Yeah,
I feel like it.
Things
Well,
to
that's why he's
see.
down on his luck now.
when you
know
go
what
to
I'm
the
saying?
city.
Listen, sometimes you make the wrong bet.
Yeah,
And I just feel like that's what they've done. They've made the wrong bet a couple of times, and there's nothing that can be done to
You-
save them.
you end up galloping when you make the wrong bet.
You do end up galloping. Good question. Jonas Dad says, what the fuck happened to Contraband?
Oh,
So Contraband recently, like I said, had a sign of life that was shown when they kind of brought up hiring some more people, right? They brought up the fact like, hey, we're hiring some people for this game that we're making and we love it. And I mean, I feel like it would be time.
we lost the pulse.
The what? The pulse?
Pulse, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what stage it's in. We kind of, I don't know, man. We kind of fell off of that game, like it was kind of talked about and then never spoken about again for a long time. We had heard that there was problems. It was with Avalanche, the people make Just Cause. And I don't know what could have possibly done. Obviously, it's clear they had a lot of issues making that game. They only showed us that like concept video, and then what came from it, who the fuck knows. 108 Dragons in the building. What's up, my
Yo!
dude? Lemon, what's good, man?
What's
Thank you for being
up?
here, bro.
Thank you for rocking out.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's another game that can absolutely oh shit, that's wild what he just said. I gotta get it. But yeah, I feel like that's another thing, obviously, that can kind of make a resurgence, right? It's like, hey, look at us, we're back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe dropping later this year if they're just doing the finishing touches, or kind of resurface, show us again, and hopefully, figure out people to come do it, to come help them finish that game. Sappho in the building. What's up, man? Thank you for being
Yo,
here.
what's good, Sappho?
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Xbox selling sex toys because they fucking ponies. There's more, but I feel like I needed to stop there for a second.
Take a pause.
Because I feel like that's something you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he just went ahead and my dude, thank you, my brother, for being here, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. Oh, wait. Says Xbox selling Diddy. Oh, he upgraded it.
Oh.
He upgraded it.
Oh.
Xbox selling Diddy toys because
Those are dangerous.
Ponies, ninjas. Miss all that packs. Take that baby oil special. Yo, that's wild. Yeah, I wish PAX didn't decide that Mother's Day was just another fucking day. You know what I'm saying? They're fucked up. We were going. We got access. We could have went.
Yeah,
But it's like,
that was we were ready, and we were like, it's funny because it took us a minute to kind of set everything, to have the time to like go and book everything. And we went to double check the weekend and just it didn't click before. I guess because we didn't think that they would do it on like the Mother's Day weekend. We didn't think that that's how it would go down. But
yeah, we were literally getting a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally had it ready to literally click.
Yeah, and I think what stopped you was I asked you a question or something, and then you went to check, and that led to
we were wondering about the kids stuff, like the prom and their AP exams and all this bullshit.
So we went to look at the calendar, and it was like, wait, hold up,
double check.
That was why.
I mean, fun fact, it was also
prom weekend
as well, which screw prom for like screw the school for not giving a shit about
trying to book it on.
Too.
Yeah, that's wild.
So
the disrespect this year.
It kind of got jacked up all over the place. And was it Friday? I think one of the AP exams was it Purpleberry who had to take hers?
Yeah,
so it's like,
it was the whole weekend. Was real wild.
So the whole weekend was kind of shot, but it's like it is what it is. But I saw your stuff, man. Glad you had a good time out there. I know our homie Hargeet was out there. So glad you guys got some fun content, had a good time out there. It's definitely a good time, man, for sure.
Maybe next year they'll do it. It's funny because I was excited that it wasn't going to be as cold this year over there, because the last time it was freaking freezing. Last year it was in March, I think they did it, second week of March or something. But so I was happy about the month.
Yeah, it was nice to be a little later.
Yeah. Well,
so that it would be warmer or whatever, because we were freezing when that shit was going on.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah, it was real wild. But I will say that I saw Green Ninja earlier. He had put a message. I don't know where it went. But he had a question. And the question was, if I'm not mistaken, he was asking about the show and about how many of the games at the show would be Xbox exclusive. So here it is right here. Says CMoney, Green Ninja, what's up, man? Thank you for being here. CMoney, how many games announced at the June showcase do you think will stay Xbox exclusive? So at this point in time, I think we're all pretty well aware that like exclusive is not something that we're necessarily concerned about, right? Like that time has passed, right? What I'm excited for, what games I'm going to be seeing that are coming to my Game Pass, like what exciting games are going to be being shown. Like I'm pumped. Like as far as like games that are going to be exclusive, the only thing that might be exclusive is something that was kind of being worked on before this whole idea came and changed up, and maybe they just are not ready to work on a different console while they're still trying to get the game across the finish line. But even that will most likely just be a timed exclusive, if that. So, I mean, ultimately, I just don't think it. Ultimately, I don't think it really matters at this point. Every time I turn on my console or go on my PC or go on my handheld and get into GeForce Now or XCloud, and I look at the newly released games, and it's like, oh shit, look at these new games in Game Pass, right? It's like, well, more games I have to ignore for now because I'm playing these other games, but I could go back to them, right? Like there's just so much content coming, and the fact that we're gonna get more of that, because guys, remember, this show is cool. We're gonna see a lot of Xbox first party, but I also guarantee you we're gonna see some amazing third party day and date Game Pass games that we're gonna begin.
Yep.
And that's the exciting shit for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have to say, it's funny, like that didn't necessarily cross. I know that games are going to be announced and whatever they end up doing. I do think that the whole audience situation, because of what happens on Twitter, is risky because of the behavior we see out there. And, people are out there with their phones, things can get recorded and put out there. And it's just a negative situation that they shouldn't or wouldn't want to have to deal with, and I don't blame them for that. But it's funny because that doesn't cross my mind. Even if something is exclusive or not announced for PlayStation, if they want to look into it later and go ahead and port the game to the PlayStation platform, that's something that they will do if they wanted to. So I don't know that it matters. I'm excited to, right, you brought up the handheld. I'm excited to hear about the new hardware. I'm excited to see if there's a freaking third Elite that they're gonna eventually talk about, like what's going on with that. Excited for the games, how much they're going to show us, how are we closing out the year, what other surprises we're going to get for 2025. I'm excited to see what they're working on that we don't know about. The trajectory, like you said, CMoney, I feel like, obviously we know about certain things that are a bit out, but I, like Blade and OD, and like there's just a couple of things that we know about, but I feel like we need, okay, what else is in the further out part of the future, right? So I don't know. It's funny because I see the question, I hear it, but it never registered to think of, is that something that what is going to be exclusive, what it's not. I don't think it registers because it doesn't matter necessarily. I don't know if it does to you guys.
I mean,
But
anymore, right? Like
personally,
we're past that shit, right?
I don't feel that that thought creeping around in any way. How about you, Farrell?
I don't think about it too much about the exclusivity portion of it. But when somebody brought up the possibility of Forza Horizon 6 popping up, I'm like, that would be extremely hilarious, because that in that type of situation, you would imagine it would be exclusive, being that they just released Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation just a couple months ago. Well, just a couple weeks ago, actually. Not keeping track because I already been had it for 5 years.
April
But
28th, right?
yeah, April 28th.
Time's
So
going by like it's crazy.
yeah. But I do think some of the games will be exclusive. I don't think all of them will be exclusive, but like I've always stood on, it's going to be like how Disney does it. They have a few select titles that they keep for themselves, and there's stuff that they let go everywhere. And I think that's going to be the same thing with Xbox. So like Outer Worlds 2, expect that to go everywhere, but a game like Clockwork Revolution might not go everywhere day one. It's just needs of the company, like where they think the game will best thrive. So I think that's kind of how we'll see it.
I also think, the value of the IP, obviously, South of Midnight it's a new project, Avowed, right? We're talking about even Starfield. As much as they continue to bring it up and ask for Starfield, is not something that will have the same impact as I think like Forza Horizon did, right? And so I do have to ask, like, maybe once they build up a bit more with some of these titles, then that will change. So that's why, like, I think that's why Phil kind of said nothing's off the table. There are no red lines. Because, eventually, if they decide that this a game will do well, or maybe let's see if we can bring in more revenue for a certain game to see how we move forward, right? I mean, they can do that. But I want to ask you, how do you feel? Because like Forza Horizon, yes, on April 28th, released over there on PlayStation. The Gallopers, it was freaking number one, the premium edition. And then to have them receive the game so well, even though, there is a cap to what number one is on that PlayStation store, right?
Mhm.
Do you think that maybe that was a little test just to see, and if they were happy with what came in from Forza Horizon, then maybe release the next Forza game on all platforms? Like, do you think that that could be a strategic move, or do you think that they're going to wait a little longer and then, okay, they got a taste of Forza Horizon, let's see if putting the title out will lure them on our platform, and if not, eventually have it go on their platform and see how much it sells over there? Like, where do you sit with that?
I think they'll have to wait for 6. Being that
Okay.
5 just came out, I don't think they would give them a Forza. Like, even like if Forza releases in the next 2 years, I just don't see them giving them a Forza game in back-to-back years. You kind of worry about fatigue, and you want to kind of let them use up all the live
Space
service,
them out.
purchase the Hot Wheels stuff, and all the stuff in there. I think what's more likely is you get Forza Horizon 5, Forza Motorsport, and then Forza Horizon 6, at a time that, makes the most sense for Xbox.
So then with Gears, you don't think that this is a build up to E-Day? You think that they're just giving them a taste of Gears, and if you want to play E-Day, come on our platform or get it through PC? That's what you're
Yeah,
thinking?
I don't think they'll get Gears day one. The only way they would get Gears day one is if they're not getting the Gears trilogy. If they're getting the Gears trilogy, I think they would go Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3, then E-Day. That's how I would think they would do it.
So I think honestly that with this particular conversation, I think we can probably all agree that at this point, if something's not going over there, it's because it's not ready to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that they just finished Forza 5 over there, like they just put it out there. If we're getting 6 this year, then I don't see there being a possibility that they're getting it this year, just because I don't think I wouldn't think that they were ready for it.
Got you. Okay. So
But
like the prep work.
yeah, because it wasn't them who made it, right? It
Yeah.
was a Porthouse who did Forza Horizon 5, right?
Yeah.
So they haven't actually done it. So it's either maybe they have a third party working, it could be like back in the day when they had Tomb Raider being made for Xbox One and 360, right? 2 different teams working on the games side by side. So, maybe they have the Poorhouse already working on 6 to kind of make that launch. I think it would be so close to 5 on PlayStation that would be kind of silly. But if I mean, honestly, I think at the end of the day, this is all about money, cash, holes, right? Like that's it. This is what it's about. Is the dollars, right? This whole idea of, I don't think Xbox is looking at anything like trying to try to create this illusion of, oh, we want to hold it all for some special reason. I just don't think that's the case.
I don't think it's
if
a
they
special
had
reason.
it ready, they would do it. I don't think they have it ready to go.
Well,
next year though, if it's launching next year, there's a chance.
Okay, so you're saying that if it's this year.
Yeah, if it's this year, I don't think
it's
so.
too
If
tight.
it's next year, it's a possibility.
In the case of Forza, though, it wouldn't make sense to give them back-to-back Horizon games in back-to-back years. Like from like a I don't think people will be that willing to jump ship from one Forza game to the next that fast.
But remember, it's no longer a live service game, so they're not adding more content to 5. So whoever buys 5,
They got everything. No
Yeah,
one
they got
wants to
everything.
lure them into
So
more.
in a year, everybody who was pumped to buy 5 will be pumped to buy 6. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like
Possibly.
they're doing a live. It's not like they're restarting the live service clock for them, right? And I just saw here, and it is the truth. Meet the Cheater says you can play both, right? Now remember one thing, Forza Horizon is not Forza Motorsport, right? Forza Motorsport is tracks that every sim racing game has, and they just do their version. Horizon takes place in different locations every time. So like there's still people who go back and play the Australia one, right? Was it 3?
I think 4 wasn't 4 Australia?
No, British. I think the UK was 4.
Okay.
And then 5 is Mexico, right? So like each game kind of has its own,
flair,
feeling and flair and location, and they're all beautiful still to this day. Like if you go back and play 3, it's a stunner, especially on the Series X, right? Or with all the upgrades that it happens. So like it's like it's very possible to do. I wouldn't rule it out for next year. This year I would just see it. I think it would be too fast. And again, because it was a port house who made it, I wouldn't know. Like obviously when Horizon was being worked on, it wasn't planned to go to PlayStation 5 or Nintendo Switch. The other thing too is they probably are trying to get away from PlayStation only and start trying to take those multi-plat to Nintendo as well, right? So, at a certain point, they're going to just be dropping both other versions either at the same time or separately. But, when I say at the same time, the PlayStation and Nintendo version either at the same time as the Xbox version or separately but together, like the PlayStation and Nintendo version drop as opposed to separate.
I can see that. Right? And then Gears, I just think they want them to experience the story in a certain order. So like that's why I say I can see them giving them the trilogy first and then going to E-Day.
So the only reason I would say that they don't need to do that, and why there's an argument for the other games to release after, is putting the first one on PlayStation introduces them to the franchise with a popular game that people know and love, right? Yeah. But the story takes place right before
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 15 years before or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Right. So it's kind of like you can give them that game to introduce it, then do the prequel, and then show them what the sequels are after that. It's a possibility. Again, how long have they been? I think the question literally just comes down to how long have they been working on the game and whether they want to, pivot in the middle of development to include another console right now.
Yeah.
Or do they want to go ahead and, focus on one platform, then port it? Right. Yeah. I think, a lot of the games that we are, looking at are games that, for all intents and purpose, were already going to be PlayStation games from the get-go, right? Like Oblivion, Doom, like shit like that, Indiana Jones. These are all games that were already had the PlayStation port in mind.
Yeah.
So it's an easier way to be like, okay, yeah, we were going to do that. Now let's just pivot. Whereas the people who were never planning to do that, and now all of a sudden are just like, hey, you can release your game over there. You're probably going to see a mix of people who are like, okay, yeah, we could do that. We can add the other ones now. And we could just, we have it working, no problem. Or they'll be like, nah, we're just going to finish what we're doing and then we'll port it after. That's going to just be a, pick your poison, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I see there.
And
so
I don't know. They'll be happy than pigs and shit with whatever they get. So
facts. They will be excited though.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like they will be excited and
either
they will
way
be happy with whatever.
Yeah.
So, it depends on what it is.
The crazy thing is that these are probably like, this is not lightly taken, right? So it's kind of obviously these conversations they probably have themselves trying to figure out what to put there when in the approach that they're going to take, you know.
Agreed.
To put
Yes.
Gears out on a tweet was very telling, right? They don't want to make a big splash. It is something that would have been a big deal if it were announced like on during a show, right? But
Oh shit, I forgot Gears Reloaded.
Yes, the
Part of the games that we know are coming after the show.
Yes.
So the second half. So that's in
so
August.
so that would be an issue, like to go ahead and like they're not feeling comfortable yet with the way that people are reacting and the waves that they're causing from these things. So instead of giving it the light it deserved, they kind of went ahead and did something kind of quick, and here you go, this is happening and this is when. It sucks for the games themselves, right? And the devs behind it, because it would be something that they should make a big deal out of.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll make. I honestly, I think they wanted to rip the Band-Aid, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what the idea was. Like, let's rip the Band-Aid now, because you know there's people gonna be crying.
Of course.
And let's get that out the way so that they have enough time to stop being little bitches, and let's move on to what's exciting. So, so I think that is, you know, what's going on. But let me tell you something. Game Shark has a fucking banger of an idea. Imagine a Forza Horizon world, all maps from all Forza selectable from a list a la Master Chief Collection.
Damn,
bro.
It would be lovely. It would be like it would be like the Call of Duty hub, basically, but for a racer.
Bro,
that'd be sick.
That would be fucking wild, bro. That would be real good. That would be real good. I love that. Damn. I kind of feel like we need to let them.
CMoney's sitting on that moment.
Yeah, dude. I'm like really taking it in. I really wonder how, man, Forza 6 got to be crazy. Forza 6 got to be crazy.